Will the digit in the tens place change? With all your might, look at the digit to the right. If it's 5 or higher, add 1.
Add 1
to the digit in the tens place.
Tens place.
If it's lower, leave the same. Change the ones to a 0. Now you're rounding like a hero.
You're rounding like a hero.
Will the digit in the tens place change?
During this lesson, students will be able to round money to the nearest whole number and then add or subtract to find a total. Students have already worked on adding and subtracting decimals as well as rounding. We are now putting it all together. Students will be using estimation to solve problems of 2- and 3-digit numbers. Students will also be able to solve problems using coins and bills. In doing so, students will compile answers using the decimal notation and the $cent symbols for money. Students will utilize tools to model problems. Students will use combinations of coins and bills to solve different problems. They will also be using addition and subtractions to find totals. They will also be using estimation to find these totals. Students will also be using rounding to add or subtract. They will do this in many different ways. Operations in algebraic thinking. 2.1. Represent and solve problems involving addition and subtraction. 2.7.1. Use estimation strategies to make reasonable estimates in problem solving. Measurement and data. 2.8. Solve word problems involving dollar bills, quarters, dimes, nickels, and pennies using the dollar symbol and cent symbols appropriately. Technology standards. Research and information fluency. Students will apply digital tools to gather, evaluate, and use information. They will locate, organize, analyze, evaluate, synthesize, and ethically use information from a variety of sources and media. They will also evaluate and select information sources and digital tools based on the appropriateness to specific tasks and process data and report results. The technologies we will be using in our class is the Elmo, the iPad, and YouTube. During this unit, students will be using manipulatives such as paper bills. They will also be using their math notebooks, pencils, the Elmo, whiteboards, markers, erasers, worksheets, 2 different storybooks, a local grocery ad via the iPad, and Edmodo. The unit addresses Bloom's taxonomy by distinguishing the different levels of cognition. It also addresses numerous multiple intelligences. This unit has something for all MIs. To start off the lesson, we will be doing a rounding review. We will go over the rounding rules as well as watch a video of a rounding rap.
Ready? Here we go. Find the place value. Circle that digit, then move to the right and underline it. 0 through 4. The circle stays the same. But 5 through 9, adding 1 is the game. Now, flex your muscle, just like a hero. Digits to the right, change to 0. All the other numbers stay the same. Yo, you're a winner in the rounding game. You got that? Let's do it. One more time. For the little people. Here we go. Find the place value and circle the digit. Move to the right and underline it. 0 through 4. The circle stays the same. But 5 through 9, adding 1 is the game. Now, flex your muscles, just like a hero. Digits to the right, turn into 0. All the other numbers, they stay the same. Yo, you're a winner in the rounding game.
On the next day of the lesson, I will start by reading a book called Pigs Will Be Pigs. This story talks about a family who is hungry and the refrigerator is empty. The family goes on a hunt looking for money, finding coins and bills all over the house. I will be asking the students to keep track of the money that is found as I read, and at the end they will have to add it all up. Once they have added up the amount, I will then have them round it to the nearest whole dollar. Using their whiteboard, we will go over the problems to see where they were and to see if they were correct. We will do a few more problems to make sure everybody understands. Then working with a partner, they will be solving a few problems that I have up on the Elmo. And then for practice on their own, they will be working on a worksheet. For the next day, students will be using the iPad to look up local grocery ads. They will see what is on sale and determine as a class what we need to buy. We'll only have $15 cash, so we can't spend over that. Using estimation and addition, we will find the sum for all items that we need to purchase without going over. We will calculate each item by rounding to the nearest whole dollar and keeping track of each item on the whiteboards. We will then add each item until we reach $15 without going over. During the next day, I will be reading another book called Pigs Go to the Market. It's a story about winning a shopping spree at a local grocery store. Mrs. Pig has to count the value of her goods. Students will be asked to keep track as well and add it all up at the end and then round to the nearest whole dollar. Students will be given paper bills and coins. I will show them a local grocery store via the Elmo. I will let them choose items for me to purchase. We will do this as a class. I will look at the price of the item and round it to the nearest whole dollar. Students will be called on randomly to help me with that. I will then remind the students that I only have $40 to spend and that I can't go over that. So we'll add up the amount that we are spending and we will subtract that total from the amount of cash I have, which is $40. They will then work with the partner and choose 2 items to buy that when they are rounded to the nearest whole dollar, they are equal or less than $10. For the last 2 days of the lesson, students will use an iPad to create their own grocery ad. They will list prices of items and pictures. Once this is created, they will post it on Edmodo. Students will then respond to the post of one student from the class, choosing items that they would purchase from their grocery store ad. They will use estimation to find the total of their purchase without going over $20. They will then explain how they came up with the total. What I have learned through this class and creating this lesson is that there are multiple intelligences and how we can add fun to each activities through the use of the multiple intelligences. Many lessons can be enhanced by the use of technology, and when focusing on Bloom's taxonomy, I am able to focus on all levels of cognitive learning.